go ahead and come into the portion of the class that I like to call the Shamanic Life. The shamans are the healers, the community leaders, the medicine people. The shamans have been around as long as humanity has been around. They are the ones who are perhaps most connected with nature, with the plants, with the trees, with the earth, with the animals. And so the shamanic life, as I define it, is a life in which we follow the path of the heart and we look to reestablish that connection with nature that perhaps has been all but lost in our modern society, especially in certain segments of our modern society. To me, the shamanic life is working on the path of the heart in this life to reconnect with the truth of our nature, our authentic nature, which is that we are all one. And so, for today, I wanted to talk about the idea of patience. So patience is something that's come up for me. It was actually an inspiration from my sister Daryl. Thank you, Daryl. We talked about this earlier this week, and I kind of filed it away that this is what I wanted to talk about on Friday. And, given the state of the world as it is right now, everyone has pretty much been on mandatory lockdown for many weeks now, and in some cases, as in Michigan, we're hearing word that it's probably going to be extended a couple more weeks. And I think that it seems as if people have been doing a good job, in a sense, of following the rules and staying home for the most part. But even those who have been good about it, and even those who have been embracing it and perhaps finding, new things to do at home and creative things to do at home and really embracing this time, even those people could be getting a little bit anxious right now just because, it has been a while and it is our nature to embrace our freedom. And sometimes when you are at home, sometimes perhaps we take these beautiful homes that we are in for granted. Some people don't have a home that's as free as the homes that we know, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. But, after a time, anybody is going to start to feel a little impatient. So, because the state of the world is feeling uncomfortable, here we are perhaps at the point of grasping at stability. Where is our stability? I hear a lot of people say that they want things to go back to normal. When is it going to go back to normal? Well, that anxiety and that uncertainty and the wish for it to go back to normal, all of that can add up and lead to, without us even realizing, we come into impatience, which is actually one of the dragons, one of the obstacles, the 7 obstacles that we as humans are challenged by in this life. Impatience is a big one, and we like, especially in Western society, we like things how we want them, when we want them, right now. We don't want to wait. And so impatience is a very real challenge. And how do we get around that? Right now, I think people are thinking we want to be back to normal. Maybe they're starting to realize, as I believe, that I don't think that there's ever going to be a normal as we knew it. And I say that not to be negative or to be doom and gloom, but I say that from the perspective of the fact that I feel we're in a very powerful portal of change right now. This change is happening. We can't stop it. You can't put that cat back in the bag. It's out. And so how we deal with it is our next stage of our evolution as humans. And what we create as the new normal, which we talked about, I believe, a couple weeks ago, that remains to be seen. But in the meantime, all we have is now. I'll say that again. All we have is now. This present moment. And when you look at it like that, you realize that patience is presence. They really are interchangeable. If we get to thinking too much about the future and trying to figure things out in our heads, that's when we go into impatience. It's anxiety, it's fear of the future, it's thinking, overthinking. But if we come in out of the future, out of the anxiety, into the presence, into the patience, now we're talking that we're back in the heart space. And this is where it's really happening. This is where the essence lies. This is where the answers are. So I think that perhaps our greatest challenge is to be able to stay present enough, aware enough, and be able to step back and relax enough to basically observe ourselves in being patient with ourselves. If we can take a step back and observe ourselves throughout this process and how we're handling it. And the real work for us right now isn't on the outside. There's not really anything to do out there in the world that's going to change anything. Our work is in here. It's on the inside. And so I think that if we're patient with ourselves, and right now we put ourselves first, and we realize that that work is on the inside, and we take off the pressure and the timeline, and we just accept where we are right here, right now, and decide to allow ourselves the time and the space that is needed for us to do this work, for us to stay present, for us to stay patient and come into trust of the universe, trust that it's all going to work out. But also with that, coming back to the don't know mind that we've talked about. The don't know mind is basically the beginner's mind. We all start out with it in life. Is that, accepting that we don't know what comes next. But here we are, being present, being patient, and in turn, being ready for what it is that's coming next, whatever it is that's coming next. If we can do that, rather than force or rush the process, then what we're doing is stepping into the divine flow instead, and stepping into that trust, stepping into that surrender, stepping into that patience, stepping into that presence. So in that process, there are a couple things that I thought of that we can do along the way in order to be more patient with ourselves. And the first one that came to mind is the idea of making peace with your habits. While you're going through this, what are your habits? Where does your mind go when you get stressed? Or what triggers you to go to a space where you go from a positive thought, suddenly you go negative? What triggers that? And can we, like I said, step back, relax enough to observe ourselves and our habits and take a look at these habits, and can we make peace with those habits? Maybe we know this person triggers me in this way, or this situation makes me think about this. If you know it going in, then you can be prepared, and that's how you either make the peace with the habit and decide that's my habit, I own it, I'm sticking with it, good or bad. Or you decide, wow, that habit really isn't working for me. It really isn't helping me. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to break this pattern. I see it keep coming up and I'm going to let it go. So you have a couple different options there. So think about that. We can either learn to love our flaws. We can learn to find humility in our blemishes. Or we can learn to release those things that no longer serve us. And when we release them, we also take a step toward letting go of our fear of completion. And we allow ourselves to be complete. When we let something go, you let it go. And so it is. You don't second guess or think, oh, maybe I should bring that back in, because if you do that, you'll never get out of that cycle. So just be aware of all this stuff. And in the meantime, think about seeing the imperfect nature of perfection and seeing the perfect nature of imperfection. Does that make sense? Seeing the imperfect nature of perfection and the perfect nature of imperfection. Which basically says that nobody's perfect. We're never going to be perfect. If we have patience with ourselves, we accept ourselves as we are. And then, once we get that patience with ourselves, let's take it a step further and think about others and our patience with others. And the idea of meeting others where they are. I think a lot of times others can be mirrors for us, which is actually a really great thing to have relationships in your life where you've got people who are mirrors. But realize in that mirror that when someone makes you impatient or gets under your skin, stop, step back, relax, observe, and think about, why are they getting under your skin? Are they getting under your skin because of something that person is doing or something that is their characteristic or trait? Or are they getting under your skin and making you impatient because you see the mirror of your own habits and things and stuff? And if that's the case, can we be more patient with others as we recognize the mirror? Can we meet them where they are and accept them as they are? And can we see ourselves or ourself in that other person and see that other person in ourself and realize that we are one? The Aquarian Sutra. Aquarian Yoga Sutras from Kundalini Yoga. Recognize that the other person is you. I think if we can do that, that's where we can find our patience. So we're patient with ourselves, we're patient with others, and then let's take a look too in the process of patience at what we have and what we desire. In this world, I think a lot of times we're impatient, and especially Western culture, it's more, go, go, go. You know, one car is not enough. I need to have a weekend car and a weekday car, and a travel car, and I want more of this, more of that, that watch, that outfit, that purse. What the heck? What's that all about? Can we come to a place of patience with our abundance? Can we, as we move into the heart space, as we move into presence, can we realize with gratitude, which comes from the heart space, can we realize in gratitude all the blessings that we already have, all the little things around us that we might not count as blessings if you started to think about adding up your blessings? You might start with the big things. What if we started thinking with the small things? And what if we realized, wow, I really do have a lot of cool things, cool people, great things in my life, blessings to be thankful for. And maybe I should be more patient with my scarcity mindset and come into an abundance mindset instead. Claim your abundance and claim it at the level that it's coming in, knowing that it's exactly what you need right now in this moment. Can you be grateful? Be grateful. Be grateful for what is here instead of prematurely mourning what isn't even here to begin with. And that appreciation will cultivate patience. That appreciation will cultivate a feeling that rather than missing something, that what we have right here, right now is enough. We are enough. That other person is enough. All is coming. All is coming. Trust the process. Surrender to the process. Step back, observe, watch, listen, and be patient. In patience is presence. In presence is patience. We all know how to get there. We just have to remember, believe, we are infinite. Take a deep breath into the heart, pressing the palms together at the heart center. Closing the eyes and rolling them up to the third eye one more time. Feel as you inhale the heart pressing out against the thumbs. And feel your heart as full, overflowing. Because that is the most beautiful and exciting thing about it all, is that by way of the law of attraction, if you're sending out a message to the universe that you are living in abundance with a heart overflowing and that you're grateful for all of your blessings and it's enough and you're accepting, then the universe miraculously, magically will send you more of that. Whereas if you're in a place of impatience, fear, and scarcity, then you're going to get more of that. Which one do you want? Make it clear. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, fold forward at the waist, bring the palms, the forehead, and the heart down to the earth. Honor Pachamama, honor Mother Earth, release your breath, release your prayer, and send that deep gratitude down to the earth. Connect with the earth. She will send it right back to you, multiplied. We'll close with one long Om together. The Om is the primordial sound of the universe. Let's just connect our voices on the Om and just know that if you chant from the heart, you're always doing it right. Take a deep breath in. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. May you walk in presence. May you walk in patience. May you walk in acceptance, grace, and gratitude. Surrounded by abundance and love and constantly in awe of the amazing and magical way in which your path is unfolding before you. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much for being here. And I'll be back at 7 p.m. this evening for day 36 of the Kirtan Kriya meditation. Hope to see you then. In the meantime, Sat Nam, Aho, and Namaste.